Hello and welcome to Q Sports. I'm Umudu Gajaga and thank you very much for joining us. Coming up, we're talking about coaching. Why is it important to study coaching? Why is it important to have a license in coaching? And when it comes to the tactical aspect of the game, how does a coach help players? I have with me in the studio Pascal Njai, former footballer, retired now pursuing his coaching batches. He's a UEFA B license holder. Recently, he returned from Norway, attending a renewal program of his UEFA B license. And you have to go through some tactical training. You have to go through some theoretical training as well. It's sort of a refresher course. And most of the international coaches around the globe were at that coaching session to renew their license, because you don't just learn to become a coach once. You are a graduate and you have your license, but you have to go through a process. Well, Pascal is also somebody who owns a football academy, Logic Sports Football Academy in the Gambia. He helped train young kids get to the higher level of football from the age of 9, 11, under 14, under 17, until they get to their peak and reach at a certain level where they would start playing for first division club, second division clubs, and even get to the professional level. I have him with me in the studio. Well, I and Pascal came into contact 7 years ago when he just newly retired from playing football. And he said to me, I want to become a coach, and I will start from the lower level, that is UEFA C license, then UEFA B. Now he is getting to the highest level of coaching. Pascal, welcome to the studio.
Thank you very much, Mr. Gajaga.
It's a pleasure to always have you and talk about the development aspect of the game, where you're a specialist when it comes to training grassroots footballers, getting them to another level.
Thank you.
Let's talk about the renewal of your license, the course that you attended just sometime last week in Norway.
Yeah.
It is a program where you get a refresher of something that you've learned, but also at an advanced level. Tell us about this coaching program.
Well, I mean, this coaching program is a very important program for coaches, especially if you're a professional coach. So it's mainly conducted during the end of the year, around December, whereas all the coaches in Norway, from B license, A license, and Pro license, we all meet for like 4 days. It's called a COP seminar in Norway. And whereas we're going to be having some important topics to discuss by top level coaches, and we had some great time with top level coaches that were there to learn a lot. Where we stopped, they always increased our level of learning in terms of coaching, player development as well.
Okay, when it comes to the game, it has evolved a lot. Every day, coaches or those who are running the game are coming up with new ideas. The style of play has changed, and also we've seen that even when it comes to the intensity of the level of football has also gone now to a certain level. Tell us what has changed in recent years.
Well, in recent, back then, you always identify a player with his own individual skills. But right now, the way football goes, you don't have a room to be like you're the main player in the pitch. You understand what I mean? Because nowadays it's like a more of a tactical thing. Coaches will be like spending nights, thinking of what tactics should I use to penetrate this. How will I use this to have like penetration passes between the lines, and where will the players stand, and all those kind of things. And then the intensity of playing, it's really, really, really high nowadays. For example, you must be an athlete to be a football player right now. If you're not an athlete, you can't fit in any of the leagues, top leagues.
So it means like there is the athleticism bit of football for you to match the current demands of the game. Like, let's say you have to have a lot of endurance to be able to play at a certain level.
Absolutely. Absolutely. For that being the case, if you're not like that athletic, it's like during the days of, you remember the days of Robert Pires? He was not fast. He was not really athletic, but he was very intelligent. And that was one of the reasons why he was a little bit fit with the methodology of Arsenal back then, because of the way they play. And but nowadays, flank players, if you really want to be a flank player, for example, like, I'm just giving the comparison, you must be an athlete. You must be fast, because, I mean, that's why they introduced this test. Before in Gambia, we were aware of like a bib test to check your fitness level. But nowadays, it's called, there's another one they use, it's called the yo-yo test. It's kind of similar to the one that we usually have. I remember when I was a junior player in Hawks, when we sang used to come, and they used to have this Cooper test, 20-second test, But this one is called the yo-yo test. This yo-yo test tests your lungs. I mean, you don't need to go to the doctor to check if you can play in the Premier League, for example, if you can cope with the intensity
of the game.
First, you have to have this test. This test will determine, for example, he's fit for the Norwegian League because of his lungs. He's where he is right now. Oh, he's fit for the Bundesliga, or he's fit for the Italian League. Oh, wow, he's fit for the Premiership, because this yo-yo test is not something that is easy, because it's like the setup. You have to go. When you run, beep. When you run, the more you go, the more it increases. It's just for 20 minutes. And that 20 minutes, mind me, sometimes you can't even finish 10 minutes.
Because of the level of demand,
yeah, because it always increases. Because in football, you can never run more than 20 meters. Never. Because in football, the reason why I said it's athletic, the average player will touch the ball within the 90 minutes. If you accumulate everything, it's going to be 3 minutes. Out of the 90 minutes,
yes.
You only touch the ball 3 minutes.
3 minutes, yes. If you put it together.
Yes.
Altogether.
So it's only players like Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo back then that will touch it more than 3 minutes. But the average player for 90 minutes, can you imagine? I mean, it's very funny.
Funny, yes.
That
if you don't put it into layman terms,
exactly.
Yeah, for people to understand that.
Yes.
That is, every time you touch the ball,
yeah.
It's a matter of seconds or
yes.
a second and a half
yes.
altogether. So if you combine all the 90 minutes or 90 plus minutes that you've played together,
3 minutes.
3 minutes.
Yeah.
That's quite very, very interesting. Let's talk about one thing in coaching also, individual brilliance and team play. Is it advantageous for coaches on both occasions to have a brilliant player, a very intelligent player who can change the game, or to play together as a team and using a tactic to beat your opponents?
Well, from a coaching point of view, nowadays you don't look out for a good player. You look out for a sharp player, a player that can make a difference in the blink of an eye. So a player that is really good, intelligent, you teach him something once. So that's how you use him. Like, for example, I'll give an example when Sergio Busquets was in his peak. He's the slowest player in terms of running, but he's the fastest player in terms of decision making. You will never meet him in the ball. So in this kind of things, you as a coach, you demand from your player what you want. If the player is intelligent, that's what you used for him to help you to execute your methodology within the team. So if a player is intelligent, it helps. Like I was saying, there are 4 corner modules in football. You have play. You have technical, tactical, physical, psychological. These 4 modules are very important in football. If one of them is missing, something is not going to be, you will not have what you want. So, for example, if you have an intelligent player, he will memorize all these things and know that if something is missing with me, what the coach is demanding from me, I will have a problem with it. So it all comes to preparation. It all comes to mental preparation, the game before, So that's why, coaches always have relationship with players. To be talking to your players, you have to be reading your players. You have to be reading the body language of your player to know what kind of level he is today. These are one of the things that play a vital role in terms of like coaching awareness. Coaches have to be aware as well of all his players.
So there has to be that interpersonal relationship between the coach and the players. So the players should have that relationship where they can be open up to you to say, Coach, I am not okay with this, or this is not okay with me, or if you use me in this position, I think I am better off playing in the other position.
Absolutely.
Coaches need to have that with the players.
Absolutely, because like in coaching, you have what you call relationship and personality. You build up the relationship with the player so that, coaching is just like parenting. It's just like you talking to your kid, trying to teach him the better for him to go and face out the world there. Coaching is likewise, you explain to the player what he wants, he will explain to you what he can do and what he cannot do. Mind me, back then in my team, I actually am the head of the player development in my club. So what I do tell my junior coaches is like, you have to make the player to get to you so that you can get what you want from him as well. Sometimes you have to go to their level, and get what you want by getting into their level.
So it's not always advantageous to be this tough coach wherever you are. Okay, no nonsense. You always frown to your face and the players don't get close to you. Whatever that you say, that's what's going to happen. Yes, of course, the coaches make the decision. They do the tactical levels of the team. They set up out and say, this is my style of play. Of course, you have to execute that. Yeah. But should you be somebody the players would be like, okay, I don't know today what's his mood. So should that be a kind of a coach?
Well, like I said, it's just like parenting. You have the relationship, you have the personality. So when your personality level comes out, the players are aware. When the joking mood, the relationship is there, the players are aware because you spend almost every day together. Well, I'll give you an example. Pep Guardiola, he's very close to his players. You see him sometimes, he's joking with the players, tapping them on their back. If you were not that open up to them, they will not. Arsene Wenger. So it's called respect and honor. Because you teach your players how to live life. Because like whenever they are going to sign, for example, a player is going to sign somewhere, that's what these teams, they always ask for. How about his character?
Character.
So character building as well, you a coach, it's your responsibility, to build the player to be the type of person that he is. It's your responsibility to take care of the player to know the next level. It's not only football. You teach them on and off the pitch.
Off the pitch, yeah.
Yes.
Let's say to be good role models, good ambassadors as well.
Yes.
So you cannot have players in your team. Yes, you need them tactically to go and execute, win matches.
Yes.
But again, after the match, the player goes out to the bar and then get drunk. And then the following game, he cannot even play the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, because results-wise, it's not good for your team. Yeah. But personality-wise also, when there are paparazzis who takes pictures of the person and then it's published around the globe, it will generate negative comments.
It all comes back to discipline.
Discipline.
Because people think that discipline is just seeing Mr. Gajaga saying, oh, Mr. Gajaga, good afternoon, good evening. In terms of football, I'm talking about. Yeah. Discipline consists of preparation, mental preparation, in terms of like getting your things, your boots, your shin pants, and your jersey before training, and time.
Time.
And then I remember back then in Sweden when I was playing there. When you have your phone in the dressing room, if your phone rings, you're going to be charged a certain amount of money to pay.
You have to pay fine.
Yeah. So all comes back to morals, you know. And then in football, discipline takes you to another level. Time to sleep, what to eat, all these kind of things are part of discipline, you know. You see the top level players, you know, I mean, football is a hard job though. You ask them, when was the last time you've been in a restaurant? You know, they'll be like, oh, I go there once a month.
Once a month, yeah.
You know, or, I go to the coffee once a month or twice a month. They don't have time. You want to go to the next level. You want to know the picture of the next level, how it looks. You have to invest.
So you have to be professional all throughout.
Yes.
On and off the pitch.
Yes.
And also monitor what you eat.
Yes.
Because this affects your performance.
Yes. Well, that's why they used to say success is a battle between you and yourself only. Because your sport, if you're not fighting for it, if you're not putting the extra mile, mind me, somebody's out there doing the extra mile. They're paying millions to people. They want to get that spot. So if you're not doing the extra mile, that's why you have to compete yourself. You're your competitor. You have to compete yourself to maintain that level.
Pascal, let's talk about still on the development of coaches. We have our neighbors, Senegal. Well, they have a professional football league. Ours is an amateur league. They have infrastructure, football infrastructure to a certain level. Not the best, but at least more than, or some standard, I would say. But if you come to ours, we're struggling, 1 or 2, 3 good pitches, and then the rest are just basically not even fit to play standard football. But we still use these pitches to play first division, second division, you know, the male and female league as well. Female league also first and second division. So there is no level of comparison. Senegal are far ahead of us. But also when it comes to the technical capacity of the coaches, not many Gambian coaches are UEFA Pro license holders, UEFA A license, CAF A license, CAF B license. What should we do in terms of helping the coaches get to the next level? Because training and building their capacity is hugely important for the success of the game.
Well, what I will say is, like, I've seen GFF. They were conducting some D license and C license, and recently, like last week, I saw that they were conducting like physical trainers and all those kind of things. But the education doesn't stop there. That's the main problem. That's where the problem
Continuity.
lies. Yes, continuity. You know, and sustainability. You know, these are kind of things that we need. For example, I give an example. If you have gone to the D license, how can we prepare you to the next level of C license? You as a tutor, for example, I'm giving advice. I'm just from an experience point of view. What I do, because for example, I told you that I'm responsible. I'm a head of the player development
unit of your team.
Yes. So I do go and evaluate coaches every week, twice. I have to evaluate you on training and on after game to see what you have trained, how you have utilized it. You know, here in Gambia, we always like when we have the badge. Oh, I'm a C license holder. I have C license or I have D license. But what have you been doing? So the GFF have to at least set up a team. Those tutors that were responsible for the coaches, at least if they don't have the facilities or the finance, at least once a week they can go and revisit the coaches. Because here...
Sort of an evaluation.
Yes, because here, all these coaches that I've been seeing, they don't put on a session plan. What is your session plan for the day? What is your week plan? What is the theme that you're going to use in this week? For example, okay, we have a dribbling problem. We have a passing problem. You know,
ball control problem.
Yes. What kind of session are you going to set up to mingle the problem that you are having? So these are the kind of things. Okay, for example, what I do with my coaches, I'll make sure that all of them send their
weekly report.
No, daily.
Daily report. Oh.
For example, if they're dealing with a passing, I have to see their session plan. It's a must. So you can see that the coach is not being lazy just to go and set up cones and then say, oh, take a route. And then they come and then play. Like I told you, in football, you touch the ball 3 minutes in 90 minutes. So if your methodology is like position football, how can you structure a training that will help the players to develop to the methodology of the style of play you want, your philosophy? You understand? For example, in my club, I make sure that, because I mean, I can say it here, I mean, I root the philosophy of my club. So, I mean, I make sure that all the coaches are following what we want, because that's how you have the DNA of a club. For example, in Barcelona, you know, this course that you were talking about, we have the chief scout of Barcelona. He was there. He showed us how Barcelona used to scout players. You know.
So what are some of the qualities that they look in for players?
Yeah. What are the qualities that they're looking for a player, for players to fit in their methodology, in their philosophy? So, for example, when you go there, you know that when you watch Barcelona, you will know that their style of play is possession football, tiki-taka. When you go to Germany, physicality. Italy, physicality. England, tap, tap, tap on the flanks, cross, and then goal.
Running, speed.
But, for example, you come to Logic Sport. We're building that. We want to be we want to have an identity.
Identity, yes.
So in football, you must have an identity. But that identity has to come from training. So if the structure of the training is not there, you can never have it. You just have it in mouth. But you can't have it. But there are certain kind of trainings that will lead to that. For example, if you want to play possession football, you must be doing possession game every day of your training, despite the fact today is passing. Okay, passing activation. We go. We do passing activation. After that, the progression is going to be possession game. After the possession game, we're going to have a game. Then the implementation of what you have done, the passing activation, the possession game, everything has to come into the game.
And on match day, the players go there and execute it.
Exactly.
Under your instruction as a coach.
Exactly. Because on that match, they know where to stand, how to identify space, how to create the triangle, you know, how to pass between the lines, you know, when to run. Because in football, verbal communication is very important in football. You use verbal communication most of the time, you know. So it's important that our coaches need to be developed to match the level of competition to other countries. Because we always have individual players that have like individual skills, but we lack tactical awareness.
That's where I'm going to come in fact, for my next question. You and I, during your holiday, you would be going to watch first division matches.
Yes.
I do watch first division matches, second division matches. I watch Nawetan. But even some of our brilliant players that we say, this one is outstanding, is an individual brilliance out of the lot that we have, you see they have a problem of tactics. I'm not a coach, but I can see some deficiencies. And those deficiencies should have been learned well before they even play Nawetan. Those are kind of basics in football. Like the level of tactical awareness of players. So you see a lot of default in that aspect of the game. How can we mitigate that? Is it coaches at the grassroots or?
Well, it all comes back to player development. We need coaches to be educated. I mean, for example, when you were going to school, what school have you been in the high school?
St. Augustine's.
What school have you been in the primary school?
Brikama Primary School.
Brikama Primary School. The reason why you went up to St. Augustine's High School is because you were having good teachers, right?
Yeah.
They were educated. You have to be equipped. Because you're going to war, you have to be equipped so that you can have some bullets to, So in football, there are three development stages. You have the grassroots. That is when you have to learn how to pass, how to dribble. Because football, passing is the most important tool in football. You have to learn how to pass, how to move, how to dribble, coordination, agility. It's very important because the body has to be flexible. You have to have a good coordination. You have to be good in agility, And then the second stage, and that fourth stage is from 6 years to 10 years. So you don't teach them anything tactic. You just let them play. But these things that you have to teach them is like passing, dribbling, coordination, agility. And then from 11 years to 14, you teach them how to pass into the space, how to create triangular shapes, how to move into the space, how to pass the ball between the lines. As a defender, where should you stand when the ball is with your keeper? As a defender, where should you stand when the ball is moving on the right side? How do you get the balance? Because in that aspect, you're playing 11 aside. Because from 7 to 10, you don't play 11 aside. You play 5 aside, 7 aside, and then 9 aside. 9 aside is the last one. And then you play 11 aside. So in that 11 aside, you're learning tactically. That's where the tactical awareness kicks in. Imagine. From that age, 11.
When somebody goes at the age of 23, 24, playing Namet and now past that stage, going to be difficult.
Very difficult. Very difficult. Because like from 11, 14, because nowadays in Europe, they've signed players in 15 years. For example, in Norway, players sign professional contracts when they are 15. So they imagine.
Although as minors, they have
but they already know that this player has already been equipped tactically. So he can fit into the next step. So the next step is competition stage. The competition stage, you're in the professional level. You're not allowed to be making certain obvious mistakes. You're not there for them to teach you how to pass or how to get into the space.
Yes. They don't even have that time, do they?
No. So that's where the problem lies in our system here. So if we want to get that, we have to have a structure. Structure is very important in football. If you don't have a structure...
But Pascal, this cannot go without one, infrastructure.
Yeah.
Okay, you talked about the educational aspect of that one, I agree. But also, this also comes with funding. Because all these things that you're talking about, training coaches, doesn't come cheap as well.
No, football is not cheap.
Football is not cheap.
No.
Everything in football is...
No, football is not cheap. But there's a way to do these kind of things. For example, the Premiership, the reason why it's been the Premiership, for example, the GFF, if they open up to the general public, football is rich. It's for everybody. If the league is going on, they organize very nice structure for the league to be played there. We were talking about we have to decentralize and then play here, play there, play there. From my own perspective, we are not ready. We are not yet there. So for them to promote the league, if the stadium is ready, I, Pascal, will advise them to go back to the stadium.
Whose match is there?
And let all those pitches that we are developing to be developed.
Okay.
And then ready. And then we have the time to decentralize the games.
Yeah.
But mind me, if the match is at the stadium, everybody will benefit. GFF will have money, and then they will raise money. The one selling the cola nut, the one selling the ice, the one selling the tickets for the game, the one selling the water, drinks, parking tickets, all these things, the stadium can benefit out of it. You understand? And then they will, it's a way of raising funds to fund their institution. Because all those people that are the vendors that are coming in to sell, they will pay to where they're going to sit.
Exactly.
Imagine how many games are they going to be playing in the stadium? Mind me, when I'm in Norway and then it's Ramadan time, the stadium used to be full.
Full, yeah, of course.
When the games are at night.
A lot of people there.
Exactly.
Night matches.
So these are the kind of things that we have to, management is very important, and then it all comes back to education. And then try to open up to work together.
To have partnerships.
Exactly. In that aspect, for example, if the game is like that, and they did all these private institutions that are saying, like private sectors, that they are seeing that the game is always getting full and everything, TV rights will come. Advertisements will come. This is how you expand. But playing games in Birkama, you expect people to come, and then it's a problem for them. Playing games in Banjul, people will not come like that because the structure is not there yet. We need to go back to the stadium and play our games there and build up how to get funds, because they're always complaining that there is funds problem.
Yes.
But they can create the funds by themselves, because that's how people, because in the Premiership, they sell beer, they sell popcorn, they sell this. It's all in the stadium. Why can't we do it?
Revenue new generation. So it's a way of trying to generate income, but also get the publicity of the game. People should love and get to watch the game. But we will have to go for a short break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about the Gambia's level of football, especially the national team. Some of the Gambian players who are playing professional level, why do most of them last for 70 minutes and they're tired? Their coaches have to substitute them.
Introducing the all-new Q Mobile. Rediscover the essence of mobile communication with a device that brings you back to basics: quality, simplicity, and reliability. The Q Mobile is designed to fit seamlessly into your life, offering essential features without the fuss. 72-hour battery life, keeping you connected longer. Listen to news, prayers, or your favorite shows with the FM radio on Q Phone. A built-in torchlight, always ready when you need it, memory card slot for expandable storage, and dual SIM capability for flexibility and convenience. Why wait? Step into any of our care centers today and get your hands on the most affordable phone for just $600. Plus, enjoy a bonus package of 300 minutes talk time and 300 SMS spread over 3 months. Absolutely free. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell, senior boss. We innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply. Introducing the Q Smart and Q Smart Plus, where innovation meets affordability. Capture life's precious moments with stunning clarity thanks to our high-resolution cameras. Enjoy uninterrupted performance with a fast processor and a long-lasting battery that keeps up with your day. The Q Smart offers a 5.9-inch immersive display, powerful performance, and an all-day battery life, all for just $3,400. Plus, get an incredible bundle of 15 gigabytes of data, 120 minutes of talk time, and 300 SMS absolutely free. Upgrade to the Q Smart Plus, featuring a faster processor, an extended battery life, and a larger 6.5-inch screen for just $4,000. With it, you receive a massive 30 gigabytes of data, 300 SMS, and 120 minutes of talk time completely free. All bundles are spread across a 3-month period. Don't miss out. Get your Q Smart or Q Smart Plus from QCell today. Discover the best in quality and value right here in the Gambia. Available at all QCell customer care centers across the country. For more information, call 111. QCell Senior Boss. We innovate, others follow.
Welcome back, and thank you very much if you're just joining us. This is Q Sports, and I'm Mumudu Gajaga. Joining me in the studio is Pascal Njai, former footballer, now a coach, UEFA B license holder, just from a refresher course in Norway, to upgrade himself as a coach to get the development of football to the next level, especially when it comes to the grassroots. Just before we went on a break, we're talking about Gambian footballers. We have some professionals. Now one is playing in the English Premier League, Yankuba Minte. We have a player who plays for Derby County in the English Championship, Ibu Adams. He starts for Derby County and he's highly rated in terms of the number of tackles he wins, the passes that he makes in the game. Yesterday, they were playing against Luton Town. And then around 87 minutes, it was Derby County leading. But Luton equalized and got the winner. It was almost like scenes of madness. How they lost the game, they couldn't believe it. But that's the game in England for you, whether it's in the Championship or in the Premier League. In fact, it's even worse there. Nobody would have thought Nottingham Forest will beat Liverpool in Anfield in the Premier League. High-flying Liverpool at the time. But let's talk about our players. Pascal, during your time, not many Gambian professional footballers in Europe, let's say in Asia and other parts. It's limited. We could count them at the time, but now it's difficult, especially those who have Gambian origins, you know, playing for other teams. There are a lot of them. What do you take this down to? Is it down to individual brilliance? Is it down to where they're from in terms of their coaching and all of that, in general perspective?
First, I will say it's a mental state. You know, the mind has to be prepared. For example, playing in England, it's tough in terms of like the media. Like it all comes back to the four corner models of football. For example, this part, I'm going to come to this psychological part. You know, for example, player like Minte. He's still developing. Minte's transition has been really fast. Playing in the Gambia here and then coming to Denmark and then how many years?
Yeah.
Less than 2 years,
Less
right?
than 2 years.
Yeah.
In Dutch Eredivisie for Feyenoord and then now Brighton.
It takes time for him to adapt to the style of play, especially in the Premiership, the highest level of football. The kid is very brilliant, very good with the ball. Sometimes it's good to step back and say that I am not satisfied with myself and then keep walking. Like I said earlier, success is a battle between you and yourself only. So that's what we lack. We have to invest in ourselves, you know. And then what I see from our Gambian players, the hunger, especially these young boys that are coming up, the hungry. They're not hungry like you were talking about the Senegalese people. I remember when Sadio Mane was in Southampton. I went to his house in Southampton, and then, you know, I was amazed. You know, Mane has, you see the living room in downstairs, and then he has a gym in the middle of the room, in the middle, and then he has in the second floor, and then the third floor, that's where he has his bedroom. But you can see that this guy doesn't rest like that, and he doesn't have time. His purpose is, I want to be successful in football. You know, Mane used to tell me that when he went to the national team first, you know, he always check for what Gajaga is eating when they're having lunch.
Lunch, yeah.
What is on his plate? You know, how does he dress? You know, how does he play? How does he pass the ball? You know, these kind of things that people take for granted are things that can take you to the next level. You know, so he said that whenever he has a game, the following day, instead of relaxing he spent his relaxation. The gym relaxed him. These are one of the things why he has the gym. So he always trained to feel free. He said, even if it's 30 minutes, I have to do something.
Something.
You know. And then he normally does sit-ups every day. Every day. I remember back then Cristiano Ronaldo used to do 1,000 sit-ups a day. That's why he's the best. Mane used to do a lot of sit-ups every day. All these players. But our problem is we are quick to lay back and say, oh, I've made it.
I've made it. Easily content.
Yes. So that is our main problem as a Gambian. We're not hungry enough to be on the spotlight. It's easy to go there, but how to maintain it? Sustainability is very important in football. How do you sustain the level that you are right now? You have to know what to eat. I mean, all these countries, some of the players that I met, you know, they do go and pay. They have the money. They pay for nutritionists personally.
They pay for personal trainers as well. I
And
saw some
of
players
course.
who have personal trainers.
Of course, you need it. Because that's what keeps you on the spotlight as well. That's what keeps you on the level. You need something.
So talent alone is not enough. You can
No.
be the best dribbler in the world. You can beat past players, but that's not enough. You have to put in the extra effort.
Of course. Of course. Dembele,
Yes, Ousmane Dembele, Paris Saint-Germain.
I don't know who saved his life.
Mhm.
When he was young, he wasn't concentrating on certain things. That's why he got injured. He got injured all the time.
All the time.
He doesn't sleep, and he doesn't have enough sleep. Back then, he was saying it. He didn't respect what to eat. But look at him now.
Now, yeah, it's been a long time that he didn't have that long
Because
injury.
football is very jealous. It's very jealous. Like it all comes back to the four corner models. One is missing, you're gone. Your level of performance is going to go down. If you miss psychological aspect, your level of performance is going down. Physically, it's going to go down. If you cannot social with your teammates, how can you be a team player?
Team player. So it means footballers have to have incredible discipline.
Of course.
Big time.
Of course.
In terms of your training, what you give,
Yes.
basically,
Yes.
your mentality,
Yes.
and also, you know, your physical surrounding and looking at the
Your
food that
mentality has to be a winning
you-
mentality.
mentality. Yes.
You have to have a winning mentality.
No second best.
No.
Always go for the best.
So that's why when you go to training, give 120%. Because that's what keeps you going. Sometimes you will see players that will finish training and spend another hour by themselves. Lamine Yamal, when they're saying it, his mom couldn't afford it before, but she tries, and then help him to achieve what he wants. Martin Odegaard. I mean, I have a conversation with the cousin, because I used to train his cousin. Her name was Hannah Odegaard. And you see the discipline that these people have. They pay for extra training. Martin used to train every day. Can you imagine that? Even if there is no training in the team, he will go for strength training or personal training on football. All these things, because you have to invest.
It's a combination of factors, not just one thing
No.
being reliant on.
Talent
everything.
alone can't take you anywhere
Anywhere,
nowadays.
yeah.
How many talented players are here in the Gambia?
Gambia, a lot of them.
Exactly. But you need to get closer to your coaches to be giving you feedbacks. But here all they know is what I see. Oh boy, I'm going to training, boy. What are you going to do? You don't even know. I'm going to jog to the beach. I'm going to run. Keep running all the time. And here, what I saw is like players do train every day. You wonder why they are not given to your satisfaction. Some of them lack nutrition. Some of them will lack electrolytes, and they don't even know how to replace it. I do once tell my players, if you don't have the money to buy something that will give you electrolytes, because when you sweat, the body has two bottles. One is for salt and one is for water. So when you sweat a lot, you think that I have to drink water. Whilst the salt water is empty, I have to drink water. You only have in water. But you need electrolytes. That's why you have cramps all the time. Oh, you have muscles because you have lack of electrolytes. Sometimes you get injured easily. What you do is, this is for the players here. Take, after training, at least once a week, take a bottle, put a little bit of salt, and drink the water. It helps you to regain your electrolytes.
That's quite very important. This year, the Gambia didn't qualify for the Africa Cup of Nations Morocco 2025. Yeah. I'm sure you must have been following the qualifiers. We were in the same group with Comoros, we were in the same group with Madagascar, and eventually Tunisia. Comoros ended up winning the group. It's almost certainly out of this world, but you and I would agree, those who watch Comoros play in the past AFCON and also in the qualifiers, right now even in the World Cup qualifiers, they are first in their group. So you shouldn't be surprised. Yeah. Maybe if you've not been following the team, it's just the name. Yeah. Tunisia eventually secured the second spot, although it was close. Yeah. It was a final game against them. We won away to Tunisia 1-0. But overall, what do you make of our performance this time? And what has changed?
What has changed is like the coach inherited a team, whereas players were going out and then trying to build a new squad. Like I said, he has a very good mindset, and his philosophy is, I like it, and I like his methodology, because he's a coach that plays football. One thing that was lacking, and I wouldn't blame him for that, because it's a team that he's building. He needs time to build the team, and he needs to get the correct players in place, because like we saying that we've qualified back to back, but let's realize how many years was Tom having the team. He has the team for a long time.
Yes.
And then this guy just had the team for like what, 3 months? So I mean, the preparation was not there for him as well, to be quite honest. And then nowadays football, I mean, decision making has to be fast in the game. You remember when Sir Alex Ferguson was Sir Alex Ferguson? I know you will smile.
Yeah, sure.
Manchester United, when they were Manchester United, they used to win the game in any minute, any seconds.
We even have this saying called Fergie time.
Yes.
Yes.
Because do you know why? Fergie has this philosophy of pace, power, penetration, and unpredictability. This is what Fergie was having. And these are the things that were very important. That's where the hunger is. That's why they said Manchester United, you can't win them until it's 90 minutes.
90 minutes, yeah.
It's these kind of things. Pace, power, penetration, unpredictability. You can't predict them. They come with power. They come with pace. They will penetrate. So the reason why I give that example is like the coach, he's trying to build his methodology to the team. But what he failed to realize is coaching is a job that you can be sacked in a minute.
Yes. If the results are not forthcoming.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I remember when Rafa Benitez was talking about it. That in high-level football, you don't have time. You don't have time.
Yes. Your employers are not going to wait for you to build a team.
No.
They want you to give them results.
Yes. But one thing about the Gambia, we need to have a scout who's going to scout the players for us. Not the coach going around.
And seeing the kind of players. Okay. So national teams do have scouts as well.
Of course.
Yeah, they go look for players.
Of course. You have to have scouts that are going to follow the players. I remember in August, because like I was out in Poland for scouting with a friend to the Norwegian G15 boys, 15 years old. And then we were out there. You see lots of scouts that are there. And then you see the scout of the national team who's there as well. So the national team needs to have a scout. I mean, we're trying. Don't get me wrong. We have this. I've never seen a physical trainer from it.
Yeah.
As well. And he's doing a very good job.
Yeah, a lot of people are highly praising him for doing a good job.
Well, we need that.
Yeah.
Because that's how you prepare your players. So this coach needs to work on that as well. You know, he needs to have a scout that will go around, be helping him to identify talents. You cannot just be relying on, oh, he's playing here, he's playing. No.
And just monitoring their minutes. I think they do that a lot to look at the players, how many minutes they've played for
because
their
the problem is our players are not playing in all of them are not playing in a TV in a country that we can watch the
games. Yeah.
So football is not cheap.
Yeah.
It's something that is very expensive. Preparation doesn't come in 1 week or 2 weeks. No. So these are the main problems. We have the caliber players. We have the players. Don't get me wrong.
And again now there's a whole lot of big problem for coaches. Congested fixture, because FIFA, all that they want is money, creating competition upon competition. So the football calendar is congested already. Now there is no even time for national teams to have international friendlies. The only window that is available for international matches now is in March.
Yeah.
So in March next year, that is March 2025, is when the Gambia has its next game, World Cup qualifiers against Kenya. It should be a home game. That is if the stadium is approved at the time.
Yeah.
So aside from that, you can't organize friendly matches. So you just get your players 5 days before the particular match, and then you go onto the beach.
That's what I'm saying. If you have a scout that will be going around to identify the players that are playing week in, week out, it's important because you can. It's something that you can do. Players are eligible to give you tickets. You just travel there and then they give you tickets to go and watch their games.
Games, yeah.
Europe to Europe. If you're there, it helps. Because since there's no chance for us to have like a test game, we can always do it like that. That's the only option that we have. So you bring players that are fit. National team is based on merit. You cannot be out there, you're injured, and then we have to call you because of your name.
Name, yes.
No, it doesn't work like that.
And living on past glories because you've done something for the national team in the past.
It doesn't work like that.
It is the current players.
There's no favoritism in football. Because football is jealous. When you go in, you're going to embarrass yourself. The whole nation will be like, oh, why did they call him?
So this is a particular player.
So the players too, they have to be honest with themselves. If they call you, you know that you're not fit, tell them that you're not ready yet. Let them give the spot to somebody who's ready to come and fight. You're not fit to fight. So all these things, how can you notice all these things? By having a scout. That's the only way.
That's quite very important. Well, Pascal, just before we go, on the 1 minute, tell us where do you see Gambian football in the next few years with the realities on the ground, infrastructure, technical capacity of coaches, and also overall, what do you think?
Well, they need to invest more in coaching education. And then the infrastructure is something else. But coaching education has to be
priority.
They have to prioritize that. Because you can't be a teacher when you are not equipped. You have to be well equipped. And then these top coaches that are out here as well, the tutors are well, they need to be doing a lot of researches and reading, because it doesn't stop there. Rafa Benitez, can you imagine? He said to us that he's still learning after all his achievements.
Achievements in football.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there's no comfortability in coaching because you can get sacked at any time, but you need to learn every day. So our football, we need to have good educators, and then the ground is a secondary. Because like back then, we used to train on the sand, and we used to have professionals, but it's just like now, the GFF has to step in as well and help us, because the younger generation are the future of tomorrow, and we need them, how they are passionate about going to be the next Minte in the Premiership. It's there.
Absolutely. We need a lot of them. Well, it's been a pleasure talking to Pascal Njai about his coaching career and also how footballers need to be developed in terms of coaching, because you have to be educated, you have to get to a certain level for you to be able to train these footballers. Thank you very much for watching, and join us next week at the same time, and have a pleasant day. Bye-bye.